This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. And though she looks so sad in photographs, I absolutely love her when she smiles. I love this song. I want to tell you the story of a little girl who used to dream big, so big. She thought she was going to be a singer. She really wanted to be a singer. She sang everywhere. She sang on the swing set. She sang in the shower. And she had this desire to live a big life, to be rich, to have all the things. She wanted that. But as she grew up, every little experience started to squash her. Some comments that maybe her mom made, some comments that kids on the playground made, some comments that teachers made. What life teaches us growing up, like go back to the time that you were a little girl and you were dreaming and think about, what did you want? What did you desire? What did you allow yourself to really be excited about and focus on? And what life experiences began to squash that? So this little girl had these big dreams. She wanted to be a singer. She wanted to be famous. She wanted to be rich and have a lot of money. She wanted a big house. And as she went through life, all of the opinions and comments of other people began to squash it. And I really feel that this is most of our stories. I think that well-intentioned parents cause trauma. Like they definitely can cause issues growing up. And that's why I think like all of our kids are going to have trauma, whether it's like a lot of little t trauma, probably for most of us. But it's just these little things that squash our dreams and squash our ability. I don't necessarily want to say ability because the ability is still there, but it like squashes our courage to take those big risks. So for me, I used to sing everywhere. And then I remembered singing somewhere and I walked out and somebody was like, don't quit your day job. And I actually had to like Google what that meant. And how did that make this little girl feel? Well, it made her feel small. It made her feel like she sucked. It made her feel shitty. It really did. And so this little girl learned that when she would take risks, she needed to be really careful who witnessed that. She needed to be really careful at who she told about the risks that she wanted to take. She had to be really careful about the risks that she did take. And so she learned to play a little bit smaller and to go through life and not take big risks, not put herself out there too much because it might be too much. It might not be good enough. And I want you to ask yourself, like, how often have you done this to yourself? How often have you squashed a dream because you think that life needs to be a different way? You think that motherhood should look a different way. You think that because you now have kids, you can't have it all. Like, this was my story. I got pregnant at 18. I had her by the time I was 19. And I was told by other people, and I feel like society too kind of portrays the same story, the same narrative, that when you have kids, forget your dreams, forget your big life. You can't have it all. You now have humans to take care of, and you have to sacrifice yourself. And I am here to tell you what a crock of shit that is. It is all BS. And then we spend most of our adult years unpacking in therapy all of the trauma and the shit that we learned so that we could undo that and create a life that we love. But when I look back at everything that I went through as a kid, as a teenager, at the beginning of adulthood, I would not be here without those experiences. As much as they sucked, and at the time I wished they were so very different, that is what got me to where I am today. But it only got me here, and it will only get you here should you choose to do the work. And so I always say, if you want a big life, you have to go get it. Nobody's going to do it for you. I spent a lot of years like waiting for my husband to get rich, waiting for him to make all the money, like waiting for someone to come save me, right? It's like that knight in shining armor. If you watch all the Disney movies, a prince freaking comes and saves them. Where's the Disney movie that the princess saves her own damn self? Right? So if you look at what society teaches us about living a big life, about getting what we want, society teaches us that we as women sacrifice, that we are the martyr, that we are the victim to motherhood. And we gotta like reverse the script here. We are not. I just moved my entire family to a new state to chase a dream. And while it was a very well thought out decision that we made, and both my husband and I made it, we did it. The me 10 years ago, honestly, the me 5 years ago, never even could have fathomed. And I know I've said this a million times, but truly, I don't think you understand. Like, I was a girl like you. I used to look at podcasters. I used to look at people on like Oprah and whatever. And I used to be like, wow, it must be really easy to be there because you have all the money in the world. It must be really easy to be there because you're there. But I never once processed or thought, oh, they started somewhere. They started at zero. They had a hard life. They went through some stuff. It wasn't just handed to them. Sure, some people it is, right? Some people it is handed to. But if you want a big life, there are no excuses. You have to show up every single day for that. You have to go back to your why, and you have to take the aligned action that's going to get you there. And it's consistency. There are days that I am like, I don't know what to do today. I don't want to do this today. And I still show up anyways. There have been days lately, especially like in the gym, that garage is freaking hot. Like it only gets down to like 85 at night here right now. And so it is hot. By 5 a.m., it's still 80 degrees in that garage. And so I don't want to go out and do my workout and sweat my ass off. The sweat dripping down every crevice and part of my body. Like it's not fun, right? I would call it swoob around here, sweaty boobs. But if you want the life that you desire to live, you have everything within you already. I am still me. I am more me than I was 10 years ago because 10 years ago, I was living a life based on shoulds. I was living my life based on what I thought a mom should do, how I thought a mom should show up, how I thought a wife should show up. And what did that look like? That looked like me doing all the laundry, doing all the dishes, doing all the cooking, taking care of the bills, and getting all of our kids to their activities, to school on time, to anything else that they needed. Well, my husband went to work to provide monetarily for the family, and then he came home to a hot meal on the table and got to be the fun dad. The resentment grew, and the resentment grew big. And then one day I snapped. I remember I was sitting on the floor and I was holding my new baby, and I had a toddler crying in my lap, and I was like, this cannot be the rest of my life. This cannot be all of that there is. This is not what I had dreamed of ever since I was a kid, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it. And that was the day I remember I drew the line in the sand and I said, no more. And you get to choose to do that too. And maybe you have decided, no more. Like, I feel like if you're here, you're on a path, you're on a journey, you're wanting to find that life that you desire. You're wanting to find more of you. And when you go on this personal growth journey and when you start to go after that life that you want and you're starting to look at your dreams and how possible they are for you, I cannot even express that enough. They are so, so possible for you. You can create anything that you desire. And if you want a big life, you get to go and get it. Nobody is coming to save you. Your knight in shining armor is not coming to save you. If you want to do something different, you have to make that decision. And that is all I did. That is all I did. I went from the girl who was getting knocked down at every turn by people closest to her to getting pregnant at 18, thinking my whole life was over because I was told, you have kids to take care of now, you're getting married, you've got a husband to take care of now, and you've got to put yourself on the back burner, was the message that I got from a lot of different aspects, from religion, from parents, from a lot of different people in my life. And what I have come to learn is that's bullshit. And life gets to be the way that you make it. So I was that girl watching people like me now. And I was like, well, that's easy for you to say. Like, you have the money. You have this. You have that. You have something that I don't. I used to believe that. And the thing is, I have nothing more than you. I just made a choice, just like you get to make a choice. And I feel like if you're here, you're ready to make that choice. You are ready to step up and step into more of you and who you are and that life that you've always dreamed of creating. It's time to let that little girl come back out, that little girl that's inside. And she's like, hey, what about me? I'm still here. I'm still dreaming big. Can I have a say? Can I have a say in what decisions you make? Can I have a say in creating this life that you want to create? You don't have to squash your dreams. You don't have to put yourself on the back burner. You don't have to abandon yourself, because what I will tell you from experience is that when you put yourself on the back burner and you take care of everybody else, yeah, maybe you get told, you get like that pat on the shoulder, right? Like, oh, you're an incredible wife. You're an incredible mom. And then it just feels shitty because you're like, well, everybody's telling me how incredible I am, but I'm like barely surviving. I felt like, I don't know if you feel this way, but this is how I felt. It was like I was in the ocean. My head was barely above water, and I was like reaching a hand out, hoping somebody would just like help me out. And what I found was we don't get to wait. We don't get to wait. We create that shit. We create the life. We take the accountability and look around at where you're at. If you have created exactly where you are at right now, you can create something different. And I never believed that that was even possible for me. I thought that was like, oh, for those people, for those kinds of people, for her, not for me. I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough. I'm not business savvy enough. I'm not enough in whatever it is that you're not enough in, right? That you're feeling not enough in. And it's not true. We can all learn. We can all grow. We can all expand our capacity. And I'm living proof of that. And so many other women in this world are. And so if you have a dream of a bigger life, go get it. Take the accountability for where you are at right now. Look at what you want to create and take baby steps. It starts small. And I am here to offer you support. I have a membership that supports you, and we do 2 breathwork workshops per month, as well as a quarterly life group coaching call. And I have an upcoming mastermind, Unapologetic AF. This is where you get really unapologetic about your life. So if you are wanting to like speed up your results, like 10x your results in the shorter amount of time, this one is for you. It is a 6-month program, and we are going to dive into your life. We're going to change everything. We're going to change how you show up. You're going to learn how to set boundaries. You're going to learn how to get the support that you need, even if you do not have a supportive husband. It took my husband many, many years into our marriage to even be supportive of helping me around the house, helping me with the kids. He had this underlying belief that he makes the money, I take care of everything else. That's what we were taught growing up. That's the era that we were raised in. And so it's taken a lot of years. So I know what it's like to have a husband who's not supportive, and now he is supportive. And there is a special way to create that. But knowing we cannot control the other person. So this is what we're going to learn. This is what we're going to learn in the mastermind. There's going to be a group of supportive women talking about this, talking about all of the things that they are also going through, so that we can all support each other and lift each other up and elevate our lives and transform ourselves in a massive, massive way. This is where you finally become more of who you were meant to be, the woman and the mom that you desire to be, and you show up that way and you show up as her, and you truly create a life you love with kids in tow. And I will talk to you next time.